Okay, so we're going to be doing a video for a Mother's Day garden. I'm using watercolor paper here. This is a 12 by 18 piece of paper. I also have a black oil pastel that I'm just going to be drawing with. You can use a black crayon or any kind of crayon or any kind of oil pastel, but it needs to be something, if you're going to use watercolors like me, that is resistant to watercolor, that it won't bleed. I'm also going to show you how you can use some markers to use them to turn into watercolors too. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of focus in this area here, drawing some flowers using simple shapes, and then kind of build in our garden from there. All right, once I'm satisfied with kind of everything that I have in my picture here, I'm gonna go ahead and add in color. Okay, so we always wanna work from the back to the front with our background first. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. Now that I have the background done, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna add on some salt. This is just regular iodized salt, and you wanna make sure it goes in the wet places. If your paper isn't wet, before you add this on, you might just run a little water over it like I did. And then we're just gonna let that sit. Now I'm ready to just start painting in other parts of my picture. And I just wanted to kind of show you a technique for using markers and water. So I'm gonna just show you a few of the leaves done this way. And I'm gonna be using green and yellow marker. And these are water soluble markers. These are just Crayola washable markers. So I'm going to just come on to some of my leaves and stems, and I'm going to not color them in all the way, but just kind of go around the edge. Okay, so you can see I have some color put on those leaves, and you can do this for your whole picture too. If you use an oil pastel or crayon, you just want to make sure that your marker doesn't touch that, because it can not do so good for the marker tips. So now I'm just going to dip in some water, and I'm just going to use these like watercolor. Okay, so they're gonna put the color on there and just make it so that I can blend it together. Quite a bit of pigment there. And this can overlap onto your pastel or crayon. I'm also going to do that technique with some of my tulips. So I always like to pick a darker and a light color. Darker around the edge. And lighter in the middle. And you don't have to fill it in all the way. We saw with the leaves that it covers really well. You can see that in the background here, the salt has really started to work. And I am just going to go ahead and start finishing my whole picture with watercolor now. Okay, so there we have our Mother's Day watercolor painting. And once it's all dry, then you can go ahead and dust off all of the salt. So whether you have just markers or crayons, or you have watercolors, you can do this with either way. All right, thanks for watching.